in the grand scheme of things, a year is not that bad. It was like torturous
No.
at some points, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm being honest because I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with this, you know. Hello, wisdom seekers.
I'm Jeanette Yvonne.
And I'm Alex, and together we channel the Ascended Masters to discuss, share, and illuminate ancient knowledge for practical modern embodiment and learn how to apply this ancient wisdom to support the collective awakening. Join us in our multidimensional conversations. Let's dive in, shall we? Hello.
Hello, hello.
Happy New Year.
Yes, that's right. We kind of took a holiday break,
Yeah,
which was nice. It was pretty busy during the holidays.
it was with the kids. I don't know about you. The kids were
Oh,
home for like 3 weeks.
yeah. But I think I needed like a couple days to recover from that. That's a lot of energy.
Same, and just to find the quiet again. It's nice.
It is. It is.
So, we spoke about so many things on voice
Yeah.
notes.
I know that we could really go anywhere from here. I love how it's the new year. So this is like our first one for 2024. It's the year of the dragon, which is cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of good energies coming in this year, especially everybody's feeling the transfer from like Pisces to the Aquarius, kind of going into the golden age. And I think a lot of people last year have been talking about just like the death of the old and a lot of rebirth. So I think that's I think that's what's happening. And I think new beginnings for sure this year.
Yeah. And for those that are not familiar with this, what is the Aquarian age?
Oh, I'm not an astrologer. I just know like so Pisces is like 12, the 12th house, so the 12, and it's the end of cycles. And it really draws you into like, and I think we've been in it for 25 years or something like that. But
Hmm.
it's just bringing up. So a lot of shadow work. And then with Aquarius, it's the number one. So it's we're in a completely different cycle, a completely different phase. And and I think it's it's really a pivotal time too, just like within Earth's history, getting into this new cycle of the Aquarius age and this time now, so I'm not an astrologer, but what I know is it's a major shift into uh, the first for us in our lifetime,
Right.
this energy. So it's like, what can we do with this energy? And we're gonna find out.
Good things, I think. Good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned this because just yesterday I was reading a passage from Conversations with God. I'm almost done. I have like 30 pages left of book three. But he was mentioning in book three something about that humans have already awakened, you know, in like the Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu civilizations and all that, and sort of like everything crumbled and it got reset, and now we're doing that again. And hopefully we've somehow learned from those mistakes from the past and we're not going to reproduce them. But um and it was interesting because this is something it feels tangible in the sense that I see also a lot of people online talking about this great awakening that's happening now, right? Like you and I have spoken about this. It just feels like it's in the air, right? And I feel like in this year in particular, it's just, I don't know, it's like on steroids. It's just like, yo, if you're not on board now, like you have to get like wake up because this is happening. And I just see like all these souls being shepherds to this new reality. And actually, you know, when they talk about the new earth and shifting in the new earth and all that, it's just it's not a physical new planet Earth that will happen. I feel like that gets misconstrued sometimes, and people think that that's what's happening. And they're like, yeah, I don't see anything different. But there is this new energy that's different, right? And people can decide to stay in the old. They can come in this new awakening and this new consciousness that is here now, I think. But it's just, it feels like everything is just like the energy is rushing forward. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I feel like there's a lot of energetic downloads and there's this expansion of consciousness. So things are people that are in tuned already, people that have done the work and the clearing, they're sensing it and feeling it. And that's what you're feeling in the air. And then I think that, like, as above, so below. So this energy is coming in and we're feeling it spiritually. We're talking about it, mentally. But the new earth, it's like we are in the trenches. So we're going to have to usher it in. Like you said, there's people that are the way showers, the
Mm.
trailblazers. We've been prepared for this. And then we're sensing that it's happening. And you're, like you said, people are going to have to get on board because it's happening.
Right. If they want,
And
they can
yeah,
also
and
decide to stay in the old.
they can try. I feel like it will, I don't want to say division.
Hmm.
It's not going to divide. But I feel because the energy and is ascending consciousness, that they're going to want to jump on board,
Hmm.
but they're going to need guidance. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they might be stuck in the old longer, but there's no way of them denying what they're witnessing. And then and then eventually the ones that did want to stay and stuck, after generations and generations, then they won't even be here anymore. And the
Right.
new the new ushering in of, the children, um they're just going to be immediately on board. They're
Yeah.
going to be coming into the planet knowing exactly what to expect. And it's really us building the foundation for that right now.
Right.
So ushering in the new world, like you said.
Yeah. I feel
Coming
like
here.
now it's here, guys. No, you know what I feel like if I had to put a visual on it? I feel like we're currently in the birth canal. It's kind of
Yes.
dark, but we see a light there somewhere very far away. There's a light, and we know where we're going. We know
Mhm.
it's going to be this great place. But now it's still kind of dark. We're still kind of still pulling backwards a little bit, like, this
And we
is not
still
as
feel the
easy.
old.
Right. We're
Yeah.
still there, right? It's in this transition period. Yeah. And what better way that, you know, to bring in this energy and embody that as in the new year. I feel like a lot of people, I wasn't never like a person that was like, oh, new year, new me type of thing. But this year, it's kind of like against my own will. It's happening. It's just
Yeah.
like
You
this new year is
feel
bringing in
it.
this new energy. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. And it really is, because it is a dramatic shift of energy comparatively from, you know,
Two years ago.
yeah,
Oh my
it's,
God.
and like you're feeling, so it is new. It is new and there's nothing you can do. Okay. So what was your word for last year? But how do you feel last year went? And then what is your word for this year?
I
Do
didn't
you
have a
have one
word.
yet? I can talk about mine.
Yeah, let me just think. Give
And
me 2 seconds. I'm gonna
okay.
think. Last year, I don't know. I didn't have a word. Um, but this year, it's purpose.
Ooh,
So it's
that's a
really
good one.
just dialing down on that. And
So what
yeah,
what does purpose mean for you? Like
deep
what
down, yeah,
yes, what's the essence? 'Cause I
the
think a lot of
essence.
people, especially
Mm.
coming into this new energy, are going to be questioning their purpose.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good word. And what does it mean to
Mm. All right, purpose for me. It's really aligning who I am. That's what purpose means to me. It's doing everything from that point, that place inside me that knows who she is. And so it's really to be connected to that and to embody it. And so before, purpose, I think used to be um that goal of like, oh, I want to be living my purpose.
you?
Like it used to be more of a goal, but now it's more of an embodied feeling. Yeah.
Yes, it's not in the future.
No.
we're losing like that time space frequency, and it's like not something to be attained. It's something that, like you said, is in the now,
Hmm.
and that's in the zone.
Yeah. Yeah, and really it's about day-to-day decisions or actions that you do that are aligning you ultimately with that, but also at the same time knowing that just your purpose is to be here now. Like I remind myself this all the time. My purpose is to be here now and to just um act out. That's the word that comes to mind. It's really act out my soul's plan.
Yeah.
So, instead of putting myself in front of myself, like putting my ego in front of my soul and making my decisions from there, to me, purpose means to actually just be connected to that soul and to act out that plan every day in everything that I do. So it's more of a here now embodied feeling more than like, oh, I wish I was living my purpose.
Mhm.
It's not something exterior to me anymore. It's just it's me, it's how I live my life. And so this year, purpose is a big one because I feel like more than ever I'm stepping into that. So I'm becoming more embodied in even in, my teachings and what I believe, my values, just what my soul came here to do. I feel like now I'm much more aligned with that, and I feel like it shows in every aspect of my life, really. So
Yeah.
that's my 2024 word.
I think you nailed it, because you're like, it's not about the external viewpoint anymore. It's the internal. And I think that is the shift that everybody is realizing. It's that the time space is gone. It's not
Mm,
about the future, it's about the now. And then it's not the outward distractions, it's going inward, and then letting that, like,
shine the way.
yeah, like it's you said a word and I forgot it now, but that's exactly it. It's embodying that, and that is your purpose, to be present in every moment. And honestly, it's not the big things in life, I think, that open the doors for us. It's really, really true that it's the little things in every moment that start to align us with that, our soul, right? And then
Yeah.
when we're in alignment, that's when we see the signs and the synchronicities, and that's when the doors start unfolding. It's almost just like a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what you said. You're like, you got out of your way. You're
Mm-hmm.
not you're like not letting the ego drive the car and say, well, I have to do this and I must do this, and there has to be a path, and you don't have to know the how,
Right.
right? We don't have to know the how. And I think that's really what we're letting go of, is the idea that we have to know how it's going to go, and just fully trusting and fully having faith in ourselves in the moment. And then we're just like you said, it's already planned out. Your
Right.
soul's or plan, right? And it's almost like preordained. It's like written in the stars. You can't change almost what you have, as long as you're the only change that happens when we create our own obstacles and we get in our
Ex-
way.
exactly.
Other than that, we could just enjoy the movie.
Yeah. I was gonna say the only change really is to, yeah, exactly, to decide who takes the wheel. Who's driving this car.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really cool. And that's where, a lot of people talk like, oh, the magic and the universe. And I was like, all for that. Like, super cool, interesting, nice. But it's not until I did that I got out of my way that I noticed the magical way in which the universe works, right?
Mhm.
Like I was wanting to do a few things. I was just like, ideas were brewing, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to do that, but I'm missing maybe, this background, or I don't know how to do that. And then people started coming to me and be like, hey, do you want to do this together? And they have the exact things that I was missing. And I'm like, this is really cool. Exactly what I asked for. in
like
a way. Yes.
collaboration
And
and
then
union.
yes, isn't that so cool? Like that for me is the magic, right? Of the universe, of seeing how things just come to you and is just like almost, I want to say effortless. It's
Yeah,
not effortless because you do still have to put in action and work, but it's almost like, huh, look at that. And it's when you realize, because you could also just go, unconsciously and be like, oh, that's cool, but like when I put the two and two together, that's what I
Mhm.
was asking for a few months ago, and this is what came in. I was like, oh wow, this is really nice. Like this is the magic. So it's
Yeah,
so fun and expansive to be in that, right?
yeah. Yes, it's kind of, it does bring magic into your reality that, again, is always there, always was there, always will be. But it's when we step out of how we think things should be and, seeing through the veil of the ego, it's it's not, yeah, it's like effortless but not, right?
Right.
It's like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
I manifest, I mean, I thought about it, I did it, I was taking actions, this collaboration came to me and I agreed. There's still that stuff, but to realize that you were the creator,
Mm.
you like birthed it in your mind, and then to see it manifest, that's magic.
Yeah.
that, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And this is
That's
applicable for
alignment.
everybody. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is the magical of being aligned. The magical thing about being aligned with your
Yeah.
purpose,
Yes.
with your
The
soul. That's
magic
really
of
cool.
alignment.
Yeah.
And being in alignment is when that magic can come through into your life. Like it's channeling, you're embodying your divine self, your higher self. So
Yeah.
your purpose.
There you go.
I love your word.
What is yours? What's your word for 2024? What was last
Okay.
year, by the way?
So last year, my word was love. I wanted to bring in more love for my life and embody love in my life because I was so stressed. I was so like, yeah, things are just not happening. But I feel like last year, before I could embody that emotion, I felt like it was a resurrection
Hmm.
year. I felt a lot of purging and a lot of um, death, like of the old self and the ego. And again, this stuff that was my own obstacles and getting in my own way and trying to make things happen the way I thought that I had to. It's like I have to do things like this to get, because we really are programmed and ingrained. It's like, well, nothing comes for free,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
there's so many old phrases that it's like, um, you know, it's all about work, work, work. And so if you're not doing something, and I feel like I learned that all of that work was actually draining my energy and killing me. So it did. I felt like it got to this point where I had no more energy and I had to let it go. And then in that surrender, it was
Hmm.
like the rebirth, right? So resurrection was really what I felt last year.
Okay.
And my word for this year is discipline.
Hmm.
So now that I feel I'm at a really good foundation and I'm free from this ego mind, I'm like, God, I really want to do the things that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I want to embody who I really am. And to me, I see that again as the little daily things. And it's all about the discipline in what I'm doing in the everyday life that will add up and accumulate and become healthy habits. So that's kind of what I'm geared towards, like with discipline, is create like filling my day with everything that I love, and also making those such a habit that my life is full of that
Can
kind
you
of.
give us an example of the kind of
Yes,
things?
yes. So I want to really get back into qigong,
Okay.
and that's a very disciplined living meditation. It's like an active meditation, right? Because you're doing something. Um, and so a Reiki master teacher here. So I'm big on energy, and I want to really start to wield that energy that is in my aura and work with that more. Um, and so to me, but that's, yeah, again, I almost feel like if I miss one day, it's like never going to happen. And I
Mm.
really need to be consistent. So I'm trying to bring in that, not courage, strength. Is it strength for discipline? Like that's self motivation, that like self accountability. Um, yeah, to
Can
really
I
embody.
interrupt you for a second? Because I really, really struggle with that, with consistency, with discipline. And I'm like, good job. Like, I praise you, I honor you for this, and give me all your tips because I cannot for the life of me be consistent with the things, even, gosh, even the things that I do enjoy. Never mind the
Yeah.
things I don't, like working out or running. I hate that. I would never, like, I cannot be consistent. I do it for like 2 days and then I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But even
Yeah.
the things that I do love, like, that's what I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing like a reading for myself or like, whatever it is, meditating. I really struggle. And I know that they say, you have to do something for I don't know how many repetitions or for like at least 21 days it is, I think, or it's just getting to those 21 days. I don't know. How do you do it? What's your
That's
tip?
that's what that's yeah, that's what they say. It's like 21 to 30 days to build in a new habit.
Hmm.
And it's mind over matter.
Right.
So it's really, like you said, you have to want to do it. So again, you shouldn't be doing anything you don't want to do. That's your first sign that you're out of alignment, is if you're forcing yourself, right?
But what if
Um,
it's in your highest good though? Like I was
ah,
telling you yesterday, like my cardio was zero, none. Like how I know it's in my highest good for my body to be healthy, right? And for that, I should probably work out or do some sort of exercise. But
with that, I would say to let go of the idea, of the perception of what you think cardio is. There's so many other things you could do that's good for you.
hmm,
So you don't have to be stuck with like, well, it has to be cardio, you know?
right.
You can still do what you want to do and get rid of the word and the label.
Hmm,
And there's so many other things that can fulfill that for your physical body
right.
that might not be cardio. So I think a lot of that's the thing. Letting go of the old and how what we're told is good for
Hmm,
us and what we're told is right is 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 what, yeah, I think people can really bring in the fact that their joy and what they do love is good for them.
hmm,
Their soul is talking to them through that.
right.
So yeah. So watch out when you're like, I should do this, I should, and just let go of the word. Yeah. And figure out
Hmm.
there's so many beautiful like cardio stuff that you could find that you do like. But so I'm working on discipline.
Okay.
I will tell you at the end of the year my tips and how it goes. I just feel like that's the next level for me, to really not just embody the highest version of me, but I feel to be living her. Like
Hmm,
that's all I want now. And and to do that is going to be, like you said, a moment to moment and a day to day. It's everything or nothing in my mind. I'm
right.
ready for that. I'm ready for that everything. And so I know that to get to that point, the transition phase is discipline. Does
Hmm,
that make so? That's just where I am on my journey.
right.
But I'm not good at discipline, and that's why I chose it.
That's
so I
perfect.
can so I can bring it in.
I like that. Do you plan on sort of scheduling things in your phone or things like that, like putting alarms, like reminder to do this and that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on my calendar. Yeah.
Mm,
Writing things down and ideas that come to me. I need to write down. It's like I need to write it down in the moment or it's not going to happen.
Same.
Because even I think with this new energy coming in, we're not, our souls are not even focused on, again, the future or this or that or planning. And so it's like, yeah, we have to be doing things in the moment.
Yeah. What happened to me, I just got a little notebook to put a side note. I got a little notebook next to my bed because here's what happens. All day, I do work, I create things, content, etc. Then, and it's like or normal. Then at the end of the day, when I'm done and I go to bed, as soon as I lay my head down in the dark,
Mhm.
that's where the channeling comes through. And that's where I have a speech, like I have this whole like video or whatever you want to call it, just this speech in my mind that is so rad is the word that comes to mind. I never use this word, but it's so awesome. And it's like, oh my God, would be the greatest content. But now I'm here sitting in the dark. I don't
and
want to pick up my phone anymore. And it comes in way too fast, man. It's like, so I got a little notebook because in the morning, guess what? I forget everything. Not even like a few words here and there that I remember. No, I just forget it all. So
yeah, all of it.
I got that notebook.
Good for you. That's how it started coming in for me last year. Is it was, yeah, right when I went to bed, and I felt like it was going to keep me up all night.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't put it down in something. So again, it was dark, so I didn't have a notebook. But what I started doing was popping into my email
Mm,
and hitting the audio and
yeah.
just talking it out. Like I was talking, to the spirit guides or whatever, but talking it out and having that conversation. And so it could be fast enough to the audio would write it down
Yeah.
for me. And then I would
Yeah.
just hit send. And it would be there in the morning and I could relook at it in the
Mm,
morning and make sense of it. But that was my quick, because like you said, it comes in so fast.
yeah.
And if we, and yeah, there's no, and why does it come in at night? Why is there clear
I don't know.
vibrations? I guess everyone's asleep. There's less psychic fog, mental
Maybe.
energy, and it's
Yeah.
that's when it's the strongest. So we're all just going to turn into night owls. All of us channelers are going to be
Yeah.
night
I work best at night. To be honest, when everybody goes to sleep, that's my time to shine. That's where I am the most creative. That's where the most ideas come through. But yeah, like
owls.
I would use the audio 100%. It's so much faster and better. It's just I don't want to wake up everybody around me. It's like 11 o'clock and then I have like all these ideas, but I needed something quiet. But the audio is
Your
much
kids,
better.
because then we're like, mom's talking to herself again.
Yeah, like what it and like because I get in my mind, seriously, it's such a passionate speech. Like this would be
Yeah,
like one of those those speeches that celebrities do at their like alumni college or whatever. One of those like
yeah. You're like,
really like awesome speech, like super empowering and like fire. And I'm like, I can't, yeah, I would scream it out. So writing it down will be my best next option. But yeah, it always has to come at that time. Or when I'm in the
yeah,
shower, of course.
yeah.
And I forget it.
You can't even take the notepad in the
No,
shower.
no. I'm pretty sure they have like a it's called waterproof journals. I'm sure that exists. But yeah,
I'm sure the elites have all that,
yes.
so they can be inspiring.
Yeah. Oh man. I love your word for the year. And I say this is why I love it most. It's because it's something you have to work on, right? And it's something that you're be building to like throughout the year and something that at the end of the year you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I am so much better at doing this now."
Mhm.
By having this word as your driving force throughout the year. So I think that's really awesome. Yeah, I love
Thank
it.
you.
So
Thank you. And
let
I
us,
love your work.
yeah, thank you. So let us know how it works with discipline. And if you have any tips or tricks that work or don't work for you, let us know.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm sure that's the thing about leveling up or moving forward is there's a learning curve.
Mm.
So you don't just like instantly, oh, I know discipline now.
Yeah.
right? It's like you've got to make all the 100 failures, 200 failures to get there.
Hmm.
So I'm sure I will have a lot of tips because I will be like, do not do this. Just don't do that. But maybe we should, yeah, we should plan that to be like the end of the year episode
Hmm.
is all right, let's, or again, it could be the beginning of the next year where we do the recap of our old word, what worked and didn't work, and then our new word. So that would be like,
That's good. That's a good plan.
guys, subscribe and stay tuned because then there'll be more to come. If this is interesting, you want to know.
We want to know if Alex will ever go to the gym and if Jane is super disciplined now.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
We'll see.
That's funny. But I'm thinking about something now. Weren't you? I feel like I remember you talking about being in the army or the navy.
Navy. Yeah,
Did you
Navy.
have to be super like structured and disciplined during that time?
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about. So I think a lot of old souls feel this way, where we don't like the superficial, the mundane, the um like a lot of us like to just, we don't want to think about the, again, the superficial, like what do I wear?
Mhm.
Clothes. What do I eat? Like I don't want to worry about all those root chakra basic things. I just want that to be, it's like I have more stuff I want to work on, please. I need more mental energy for that.
Mhm.
So that's why a lot of, I think, older souls and stuff, they're not swayed by the false and the flashy items and this and that. Okay, I'm getting off subject. So I really love that one, my schedule was completely made for me.
Mm.
The courses, the classes, the things, that I was just like along for the ride. Uniforms. I love uniforms. In fact, most of the jobs that I've had since the Navy, even yeah, as like physical therapist and healer, and scrubs, and then vet tech, scrubs, it's always that uniform where I don't have to think about my clothes. I don't
Mm.
want to worry about fashion. Um, and then again, yeah, at most of that time, if you're on base, you don't even worry about food. You can just go and there's breakfast made, lunch made, dinner made. So
Mm.
it's it's I really like that structure. And that I think is what I really miss. And honestly, this is a whole topic. What I really missed is I think a lot of us are conditioned to have other people think for us and make decisions for us. And I think I really liked that. But that's again, it can be a good thing and a bad thing
Mm.
because it could be like with society, if we do not even know how to at least make decisions for ourselves, it can really harm us later in life. It can be hindering. And we want others to make the decision. And then we put our creative responsibilities and our energy and our power, we give our power to others.
Right.
And that's where we start to go in the wrong because nobody knows your blueprint. Nobody knows your life purpose. And they can't make those decisions for you. But yet, we're conditioned in society, most all societies, to be followers, to be sheep, right? To not to
Yeah.
not know how to make those executive decisions even in our own life. So
Yeah. Just because I feel like the first we should before learning all these conditioned ideas or states, we should first learn discernment. And so what happens here is that we often get to learn discernment later on in life just
mhm,
because we see
mhm,
the pain of the past, right? So we
yeah,
should actually just flip that over.
yep.
First learn discernment and then, oh, okay, I see this, organization or
Now let's
this
learn
group of
structure.
people. Yeah, they do
Why?
this.
Yeah,
Does this fit in for me? Yeah, okay, I'm jumping all in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least I know, right? I have all the information of does this align with me or not?
yeah. And then you can honor your true self, and it's easier to make that decision because you're not just
Yeah.
helpless.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a lesson in itself. I was not fit for being completely told what to do. So that's what I learned. And I don't I'm not very good with politics, and there was a lot of politics.
Mm.
So
Within,
I'm a very free spirit, and I am very big on justice and integrity. And I'm like, I when it gets to a point where you're told to do something just because you were told to do it, but it doesn't align
mm,
with your integrity or it doesn't align, then you are stripping your soul of your vibrational essence. You're ripping, you're tearing. So that again is, it's not for everyone.
yeah.
But there
But
comes a point you have to choose yourself.
yeah, and stop the people pleasing.
Mhm.
Right. Because this, what you're talking about here, being told to do something and to do it just because you're told, this is applicable to so many other things. It could be in the corporate
Oh
world,
yeah,
it could be in any area of your life. Um,
yes. I feel
and
everybody,
yeah,
everywhere, they deal with it all the time. This is
yeah,
not, yeah, this is big. And
yeah.
I was definitely trained to be a yes person. And I felt that in fact I was bad or I was wrong to even say no or hold
Mm,
boundaries or stand up for myself. So that was a life lesson in itself, to just be able to say that I choose alignment over disalignment, which
mm-hmm.
should never, ever be the case, I think, for any human being. But yet it's there, I guess, for us, like you said, so we can see and we
Yeah.
can know.
I had the same life lesson to learn. The boundaries, the saying no. I feel like so many people um are people pleasers because of the way that they've been brought up and how society is structured. And I think for me, what really just flipped the switch, I think it might have been something you said, unless I'm mistaken. This was like maybe a year ago. So it was either you or
Mm.
somebody else that we both know, actually. I don't remember who it was. It was like a voice note. And I was talking about how I have this tendency of being a people pleaser, even with the people like in my family, right? And I was scared to actually ask for the
Oh,
things that I really wanted. And I think you said something like, you're doing them a disservice by doing this because you are not showing your true self. And that's like basically I don't remember exactly the words, but for me, what really stuck with me, it's kind of like I am doing them a disservice by not showing myself because then they cannot help me or they cannot, be of service to me in the way that they want to be. So it's
mm,
actually, first of all, it's like not honoring my soul and myself, but then it's also not honoring that other person because you're not truthful to your own self. And so that for me was like the biggest aha, and it really flipped the switch.
yeah.
Then, was it easy for me to ask for things? At the beginning, no. In the beginning, it was not, and it was really terrifying. And
Mhm.
there was a lot of fear that came up, but through repetition, and I feel like this kind of comes with like the
Discipline.
discipline that you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Um, but with repetition, and I really forced myself so many times to ask for the things that I wanted, even like the smallest things were so scary to me. But with repetition, it got easier. And now it's like I don't have that rush of anxiety when I want to ask or say something.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like sure, it took me a year. In the grand scheme of things, a year is not that bad. It was like torturous
No.
at some points.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest because I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with this, and it's sort
Yeah.
of like also comes with, that healing process that we were talking about, you and I, where sometimes, you just see the outcome, but nobody really talks about what it's really like. Like, oftentimes,
Yeah.
doing that which is really painful for you and triggering feels like death. Like, to be honest, it's like,
Yeah.
I will not be able to survive this. But then you do it and you're survived, and that teaches you something. And every time you do that, it teaches you that you can do it. and that you're still alive and that, that big monster didn't eat you, right? So it's kind of like, all right, here we are. Now I can do this. Now I see proof that I can actually do this, right? So anyway, for me, I wanted to share that. That's what it looks like. But yeah, people
Yeah,
pleasing discipline. I feel like it's sort of like it comes together somehow.
it definitely it flips the switch because it flipped the switch for me too when I was told that by someone else
Mm.
in one of my metaphysical courses, and so I know the impact that it has. And I maybe it would be such a great key phrase for everyone to really embody is that idea. And yes, I remember telling you that it was we
Mm.
were working in the past life sessions. I
Mm.
feel so a lot of relationship stuff
Yeah.
coming up was coming up, and then a lot of conditioning and stuff. So I think the worst program that we have is is that and society is kind of reaching that the end point of that too, where um, is being nice or whatever, is that really nice? It's not.
Right. It's
Because you're
not.
playing into their false reality of their
Mm.
false drama that is a conditioning response anyways. So they're not being authentic. And then
Right.
as long if you make that soul agreement, like, okay, yeah, I'll play this character in your life because that's what you want. But it's not really what they want.
Right.
It's what they were conditioned as well to be. And we're all just playing these games, like these social interactive conveniences,
Right. These
politeness,
false
etiquette.
realities. Yeah.
Yes, this false, totally. And the worst thing we can do is go along with that. And the first step, really, of stepping away into who you are is seeing the false reality and saying, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Mm.
And then stepping out and saying, I'm not going to be this character that you want. So you can either change or find it somewhere else. And that seems really triggering for them
Yeah.
because one, you're changing who you are, you're growing, you're not playing the game anymore. Like sometimes they think you're the bad guy or you're evil just for saying no. And that's why we feel that like,
Hmm.
oh, it's so fearful for us to say this because we're shaking it up,
Yeah.
because we're waking them up. And that is the best thing you could do for yourself and for someone else. But when people are still like in the matrix, right, or in that reality, they think you're doing the worst thing imaginable until they learn. And that's the thing. If they're not ready to stop playing the game, they'll just go find someone else to
Right.
play it with. But at least you're not in that toxic courting relationship, right?
Hmm.
You're at least not picking up the energy that is no longer serving to you.
Yeah.
And vice versa, they'll learn from their own karma and patterns, again, by either picking someone else that will play that character over and over and over until they realize that they've hurt themselves so much or
Hmm.
they're just so done with the game that then they decide to stop playing the game. But at least they could see the first essence of authenticity
Yeah.
by you reflecting, and by you stepping away is really giving them the greatest gift.
Mm. Yeah. And I love what you said there. And I feel like this is applicable to just so many relationships and interactions, both personal and professional. Um, for me, like with my husband, I feel like he was almost like, "Oh, you're not hiding yourself anymore. Cool.
And he liked
Welcome.
it.
Good to see you." You know? It's like it's almost like he knew that I was holding back, you know? And now it's like, "Oh, I hear you now." Right? So that was really special because like, oh yeah. So last
He
year, the year
embraced that.
before, yes, it was sort of like um I was finally sort of showing myself more, right? Although we've been together for like 10 years, a lot of it was like people pleasing, really. Um, and then, him saying like I want he wanted that. I think he wanted me to be my fullest expression and authentic self, but I was just scared as shit, and I was holding it back. But thankfully, he saw through my bullshit. Right?
Yeah,
And he was like, "Here you are."
that's love.
Gosh.
You just
Yes.
accepted where you were
Yes. Yeah.
and, and the thousand births of yourself.
Yes. Yeah, I love that quote, right? Which I should put it here on the screen if I find
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you will. You will. You'll end it. Um,
Yeah.
that's beautiful, and that's the gift too. Is when you start to say no to what's false and yes to your authentic. Yeah, you might lose friends, you might lose family, you might lose, but you're gonna lose the stuff that isn't serving you
Right,
anyway.
exactly.
And the people that always have loved you and always will love you will stay. Just like you were so
Yeah.
lucky, right?
Yeah.
He saw and was excited about it. And that's how you know too when that's a healthy relationship or a toxic. The toxic ones will make you feel guilty, make you feel bad for your
Right.
decision. Um, for not playing the game. But the ones that are inauthentic and those are your tribe and those are your people, they will always be supportive. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm so lucky to have that and friends like you also that just see the true self, right?
Yes.
That's such a gift to have. And I wish for everybody listening to this, I wish for them to find their tribe also and just people that see their authentic self. That's such a gift. And you need those people in your life. I feel like without a community or a tribe of people that really know you with a capital Y, it's hard without that support. But yeah, I hope that everybody has that around them.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's a great intention.